Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to this time it is the first episode. I
They
promise.
don't know what you're talking about.
That's fine. We've just to give you a quick recap, we've recorded a couple episodes that we didn't end up uploading for various reasons.
We're
Um,
lazy.
all within the fines of NFL season. We had our week one picks. We had a really good episode about the who we thought was going to win the division and all that. But to just jump right into it today, we're gonna get to week two. Our predictions for week two. We're also gonna multitask a little bit and talk about week one at times. And in that, you'll probably see if we got our predictions right or wrong or not. But yeah, again, we like to just kind of end disclaimer. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just
Yeah.
we're just having fun. Um, we if you came here for like analytics and breakdowns and things like that, go somewhere else. Don't go to us. We're just here entertaining. We're enjoying it. So just wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way. But I'm actually gonna give it to you now, Joe. Where do you? I mean, well, I guess we're gonna go with Thursday night's game, right? I would assume.
Mhm. Now,
Okay.
before we start, I just want to let you know that anything you say is gonna be, or anything we disagree on is gonna be wrong. Because Mike, I really wait. Can you even see that? It's so bright. Jeez, hold on. Let me lower the brightness here. Can you? Oh, you can't. You can't even see. I just.
No, keep it
All right.
there. Keep it there.
Basically,
Keep it there. It'll go. It'll go. Just give it a second.
all it is. No, I just wrote down like a shit ton of notes of shit I
Oh,
want to say.
oh,
That's all it is.
gotcha.
I didn't
I
want to show
actually.
you anything. I just wanted to show you I did my research.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So Joe
studying.
did Joe did his research. I didn't. So I'm shooting from the hip here, which is what I like to do. But
I shouldn't have told you guys that actually, because now if I do worse, it looks bad. All right, we're starting with Thursday night's game, which is the Eagles and the Vikings. And I'm gonna come straight out and say I do have the Eagles because I know what your thought process is, but I will say it's gonna be a lot closer a game than you think, or most people would think, or whatever. You got to think that the Eagles defense, who's better, Mac Jones or Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins hater over here, or not believer in. You even say that Kirk's better.
Mhm.
They allowed almost 350 passing, or sorry, 300 plus passing yards for Mac Jones. 300 plus for Mac Jones. Last week, Kirk Cousins got almost 350. Basically, I expect Kirk Cousins to go off. I expect him to keep passing that ball. I expect them to bottle up the run game a lot, but at
Mhm.
the same time, their run game, um, who got out? Oh, Gainwell. So the running back for the Eagles last week, he's out this week, and they're putting in DeAndre Swift, who I think was underutilized, underrated. He's going to do some damage to Minnesota's defense because all the shows were like, "Oh, Minnesota really shut down the run." Yeah, from like the Buccaneers. They haven't been tested yet on the running defense.
Right.
So that's a good place where the Eagles can go all over him. Jalen Hurts needs to get his mojo back. He knows because he kind of, 170 yards this week against the Patriots. He can do that perfectly against the Vikings. But like I said, Vikings or Eagles D gave up a lot of points to the Patriots and Mac Jones. So I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think that Eagles are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, for all those reasons is why I'm actually picking the Vikings to beat the Eagles tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Um, I think
Okay.
first of all, I mean, I know, yes, me and Joe have an ongoing joke about me like kind of shitting on Kirk Cousins. Um,
Hmm.
I think the whole world has an ongoing joke of that. But
Yeah. Fuck you
these
guys.
with how Kirk Cousins played last week, based on the fact, I mean, we joke around about this, but you even agree with this, right? When the lights are on, pressure's like the most bright. Kirk Cousins doesn't do the greatest. I feel like, and you could argue the other way around. I feel like there's no pressure on Kirk Cousins here, personally. There's pressure on the
No is
Vikings. There's pressure on the Vikings. Just wait, let me finish. There's pressure on the Vikings, and that may fall on Kirk Cousins. But I think a lot of people have actually, from what I've seen, a lot of people who disrespect Kirk like that have actually been giving it to Kirk Cousins. And I'm gonna just let me point out a couple things here, right? The Eagles defense. How many yards did Mac Jones have last week?
300.
Dude,
between 300 and 320.
for your sake, I hope Mac Jones plays that well for the rest of the season. But I just don't, I
Yeah.
don't see that happening. But that could be a tail sign of the Eagles defense. And if that's the case, the Eagles come out a little sluggish. Uh, Kirk could throw, and you were telling, I think you gave me the stat about how many yards Cousins was that he threw to without what's his name.
Yeah, so I'll recap. Jefferson caught what 125 of the 350 basically.
Right.
So that means over 200 yards went to not Jefferson.
Exactly. And I think he's going to be looking for Jefferson heavy tomorrow night. And I don't know. I just feel like this is the game that Kirk Cousins wins.
I'm gonna give you one edit, and that is that Kirk probably feels a lot of pressure. He played a great game and threw, obviously, like I said, like 340, but he did fumble the ball himself twice in like
Yeah.
one quarter.
Which is why
So
I said,
he just needs to clean up the mistakes. The game was there, the mistakes were also there. If the mistakes aren't there, the Bucks don't win that game.
but which is why I say like that's why I said I think there's no pressure on Kirk Cousins, but I can understand why people would say there is because there's just pressure on the Vikings in general. So if that takes a toll on him, then I could see a world with that. But I don't see people blaming him for the loss. I don't like to me, Kirk Cousins isn't in a
Finally.
bad spot here. Like, and then you also have to think about this too. Now, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm picking the Vikings to beat the Eagles. Wow. The Eagles barely.
It just hit you.
No, 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 no. You know what just hit me? The Eagles played so. I don't want to say so bad, but the Patriots played so good last week that I like really just sat here and thought that the Eagles were already 0-1, but they are 1-0.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I
compared
think
to their
I think
expectations.
again, if they lost that game to New England, I would be like, all right, I find it pretty hard they're going to be 0-2. But
Mm.
and I mean, look, both of them are coming off of a couple days rest only, right? So I mean, that's kind of like that affects both of them. But I don't know, man. I just see the Vikings getting a win here, and
Me,
I'm not big on the Vikings, but
yeah.
I think this is a game they win.
I can definitely I can see either sin. I really hope that it like lives up because last week we were saying like the Chiefs and Lions was going to be a great game and it was, and it's like, all right, now I hope it isn't like built into our brain that every single Thursday night football game is going to be like that. I hope it doesn't let us down because last week was so good. But if what we're saying, if we sound like actual like good analysts right now, it makes a lot of sense for this to be a great game.
Yeah, and I'm honestly like, regardless, I know that I know you're picking the Eagles, I'm picking the Vikings, but I'm glad that we both agree on the fact that we both think it's going to be a good game. Um, like because I just see that's the way that it's going. So yeah, that's that on Thursday nights.
Speaking of good games, I'm gonna start you off with a good one here, and I'm gonna tell you that I think the Bengals are going to start 0-2
Oh
against
man.
the Ravens.
Oh
Now
no.
let me explain. Let me explain. Because I do have a good explanation for this.
Okay.
First of all, they let Nick Chubb run like what 126 yards.
Mhm.
Now Nick Chubb is great, right? He's good at running the ball. Guess who else is good at running the ball? You got Lamar Jackson. You got a highly running focused Ravens team over the past 5 years who are trying to adapt themselves to become more of a passing team. And guess what? They're going to look at what happened to the Bengals last week and say, hey, Lamar, just take the ball and run. And if that doesn't work, they got Zay Flowers, who I don't know his exact stat line, but he was really, really good. They got OBJ out there who could be a bigger factor. They're probably trying to ease OBJ into the fold after coming off an ACL injury, probably easing him back in. But so that's why I think that the offense is going to do good. Obviously, the offense of the Browns, which was like the passing off, all of the offense of the Browns did fine against the Bengals. But let's talk about the defense. Last week, the Ravens had 5 sacks from 5 different people on their O line. Or sorry, their D line.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking the Bengals O line here, trying to protect Joe Burrow. And what was they? I think it was like 46% quarterback pressure last week.
Mm-hmm.
Who were they playing? The Browns?
The
It's
Browns.
going to be about the same.
Yeah.
I think that the Browns have a better D line, but I think that they are going to make Joe Burrow scramble. And I mean, it doesn't take much for them to do better than last week. I think the Bengals are going to do far better than last week. T. Higgins had 8 targets, no catches. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're going to do better, but I think that the Ravens are going to drive them down into the dirt.
So I'm not
Oh, and Mark Andrews could come back.
well that I was gonna bring that up, but I'm glad that you're not someone who is because a lot of people are taking the Bengals week 1 and just taking it as a tail sign as like, okay, that's who the Bengals are going to be this year. And clearly, I don't think you think that that's what that's going to be.
Really? Shit.
What
That's
do you think?
crazy. I can't believe people think that. It's
Oh,
week 1.
yeah. But I don't like. Look, this is me. Like, I don't have much evidence. I'm just going off of what I watched, man. And I know this might sound crazy. I still wasn't that impressed with the Ravens, man.
Oh my God.
They're
Dude.
gonna have to prove it to me. Now, if they turn around this
I'm-
Sunday and prove it to me, that's a whole nother story. They didn't prove much to me last week, man. They really didn't. They really
I
didn't.
mean, I guess because it was the Texans. I guess, but I mean,
It was a good start for them, right? That's where they needed to start. They did what they needed to do. So I'm saying I agree with, but I'm not ready to
they
just go.
allowed 0 touchdowns. 0.
I mean, who are you saying had 0 touchdowns?
The Texans. I mean,
Exactly.
still,
No, you're
still.
right. You're right. That's it. No, that's fine, and that's a good start. You can't help who you play first, right? That's okay. My point is, though, they're gonna have to prove it to me on Sunday. The Bengals get the benefit of the doubt for last week because a lot of people are not taking into consideration that Joe Burrow missed a good chunk of the summer with his calf injury. Like Joe Burrow looked like somebody who hasn't played a lot of football in a long time. So
Yeah.
I think he's easing his way back into it. I I fully expect the Bengals this Sunday to pick up where they left off last year. I
So
fully
you think they're gonna win?
yes, I think they beat the Baltimore Ravens for sure. But this is what I'm
Sure.
saying for sure. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I just think
Mhm.
think that they're going to win. But the Ravens to me are still going to have to prove that like this would be a game where it's like, okay, you do all that. You guys want to be Super Bowl contenders? Go in on Sunday and do that to the Bengals, and
Yeah.
then you can start having some conversations. But until then,
Mhm.
no, I'm not rolling. I'm taking the Bengals. I just am.
Okay, fair enough. I think we both explained. I don't think we need to go any more in depth. We took so long on the Monday night, or the Thursday night football game. You ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Seahawks,
Trying to,
Lions.
sorry, I'm just trying to too much light. Sun's like crazy. All right, who you got?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's the Seahawks and the Lions.
All right.
Um,
Can I take this one first?
yeah, sure.
I think the Seahawks are gonna win.
Jesus.
I think the Seahawks, oh God, last week was that was I was pretty I wasn't upset, but I really thought the Seahawks were gonna start off a lot better than that.
Yeah, we kind of wrote off the Rams.
Yeah. I'm still
Not that.
writing
Oh
off.
no, we bet on it. Yeah, you didn't see the episode, but we knew the Rams. We were there. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
I'll tell you this much. I still don't think the Rams are going to be anything, but I I think the Lions are going to have a really bad hangover from the
Mm.
win against the Chiefs. And I think they're not going to take Seattle as serious as they should. And I think
Mm.
Seattle's coming in to prove a point. They have a great opportunity here to make up for last week with a win to the Lions on Sunday. and I think they're going
Yeah.
to take full advantage of it. That's really all I have. It's really all I have on it. I don't know how you feel about it.
I I take the Lions. I think that there is going to be a little bit of I think the first quarter the Seahawks are going to be up by 10. I do think at the end of the first Seahawks are going to be up by 10. I think that the receivers for Kansas City did not at all really challenge the cornerbacks or anyone like that. I think that the Lions will be able to block the run, which won't bode well for Kenneth Walker. I think he'll still get a bunch of yards, but I don't think he'll be able to do what he's been known to do. But I think they're going to get off to a slow start. But I don't know, man. Goff to Amon-Ra, St. Brown, dude. I think he's going to be filthy this year. I think this is going to. I mean, if last year wasn't a breakout year for him, this is going to be a breakout year for him. That duo is going to be dangerous, and I can just see them walking all over Seattle this week. I mean, I don't think they're gonna. I like I said about the Bengals. I think Seattle's gonna play much better than they played last week. They should not have lost that game. This is a game they should lose, and I'm gonna take the under on it. I think they are gonna lose.
I'll tell you what. I don't, and you might disagree with me on this. That's okay, but I think that I will be more impressed if the Lions win this game this week, like soundly, than I was by them winning last week.
I'm sorry. One more time.
All right, let me try and because I think I worded that a little weird. I would be more impressed if the Lions came out and win this week more than I was with them winning last week.
Yeah, because the Seahawks are better than.
No, because listen, that proves like, okay, right now, right? The Lions went from being the underdog in every aspect, right? To now going into this year, people are like, I think they can win the division. I think they can win this, win that. Now you beat the Chiefs on Thursday night, which I mean, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
But are you content with that, or do you want more? If they come out, and I'm not just saying if they beat the Seahawks, if they come out and fucking, excuse my language, soundly beat the Seahawks, I'm going to take a step back and be like, oh shit, like the Lions are not effing around right now. Like they are zoned in. They are clearly on a mission because they could easily go into this game with no confidence. Like, man, everybody like loves us. We won a game that some say we shouldn't have won. Coming here lackadaisical against the Seattle Seahawks. That's why I think Seattle's going to win. But if the Lions come in and beat them soundly and it's like, hey, nah, like this is we're legit.
Yeah,
that would really blow me away personally.
How do you think Geno's going to do?
I think he's going to do okay.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a year of regression for Geno. Last year was probably, I would say, the peak of his whole career. So I'm gonna try to like base his play this year, not off of what he did last year, but just like, kind of his overall career, because he was so underwhelming literally in every other, year of his career, where it's like anything where he's getting primary like minutes as a starter is a win for Geno Smith at this point in his career. Because he's like 31. And last year was his first year as a starter. Probably his first year. I didn't pay attention like way back when, but okay. On to another one that is pretty much a toss-up because it's Tank Bowl 2023, Texans and Colts.
I got Colts.
Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I don't really have any thoughts. I just think the Colts are going to beat the Texans. That's all.
I think we're 0 for 4 this week. Let's go back to old ways. Texans. I'm taking the Texans.
Let's not waste our time arguing this game, though. I mean, like,
I think Texans are going to win. You think Colts are going to... I will say this. The Colts didn't look bad. The Colts looked pretty good against the Jaguars. I think that's something that if...
People, man, and I'm a big Jags guy. People are making it seem like the Jaguars like soundly beat the Colts. Like no one's really... And
they didn't.
Like, they were down up until like the last few minutes of the game. I mean, I know it was going back and forth, but like
the Colts shut down their run game. Did you watch them run the ball? Because I didn't. They could not run for. Calvin Ridley is the reason that the Jaguars won that game.
Okay, so then you tell me why you think the Texans are going to win then.
Because I just have more faith in CJ Stroud to put up a strong performance. He had a better I think a better passer percentage than or completion percentage than Anthony Richardson. Richardson made a couple more mistakes. And I think the Texans defense is better. I think that they can double up Michael Pittman and then Richardson will have pretty much no options. Not that CJ Stroud has many options in himself, but
So,
I mean, CJ Stroud did fine last week with no options. I don't know how well Richardson's going to be able to do if they double up Pittman.
all
Also,
right,
Dameon Pierce. I like Dameon Pierce.
all right.
Even though the Colts running defense, like I said, I think Dameon Pierce could have a good game. I don't know if he's better than Etienne. I haven't really paid attention to either of their games. I'm going to watch a little more this year, but it's definitely a name that I'm paying attention to this year, Pierce.
All right. Well,
I
we can
like
move on. We already spent too much time on that game.
literally. But here's one you're probably going to want to spend time on because you're going to disagree with me.
Definitely gonna.
Buccaneers and Bears.
I got the Bucks.
Yeah, I knew you'd disagree with me.
100% got the Bucks.
Dude, my faith for Justin Fields is falling, but I just got to see. I got to see. I think I said it last week on the last one. I said I think that Baker Mayfield could randomly ball out, beat the Vikings last week, and then just have no good games for the rest of the year. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Tampa's running game, I will never count on it. It's already not in the equation. If they're going to win, they have to pass the ball, and their defense has to be good. I do not think they're going to be able to pass the ball well. I think Baker's going to fall off a cliff for absolutely no reason after last week. Their
Wait.
defense was what?
What did you? How do you think Baker played last week?
Well, he didn't ball out like I thought he possibly could, but he definitely played like an average quarterback with those two receivers he's got.
Because what I'm saying, and this is what I'm saying, right? Because I was kind of in the same agreement as you last week, which was like, okay, I could see Baker balling out first game and everyone being like, oh my God, and then him just falling off a cliff. But for me personally, watching him last week, and look, I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think their Bucks are going to be a playoff team. This is not what I'm saying. But my thing is, I think he can play like that most games this year.
I think he can.
I don't
think
see,
he will.
like, don't get me wrong, like he's Baker, so I think he's gonna have a couple of atrocious games, but I just think his mindset so far, if you watch him, and again, what you're gonna notice is I'm just saying this for people who are listening. I'm a big, like, I watch what's going on, right? And I look at the stats and everything, but I take everything into perspective. So I'm watching Baker in the pregame and postgame interviews and things like that. He looks like
right.
His demeanor has changed a bit. Like he used to come off a lot more cockier, I feel like. But he's not that anymore. He just seems very what's the word I'm looking for? Even keeled. He looks very even keeled. So that's why I'm like, I think against a team like the Bears, he could win because he just has to play within the system. And again, do I think they're going to win 14 games? No, but I think that they're going to be they're not going to be the worst team in the league, you know.
Really quickly to cover last week for the Bears, some things at least one thing you're not going to like. But first of all, they need to use DJ Moore. He had 2 targets. He caught both of them. Did nothing for the rest of the game. If Justin Fields learned one thing from that game, use DJ Moore more. So stupid that they didn't really use him. But second of all, lots of the Packers offense, I'm sorry, excelled off of the Bears defense being not even present. This is not anything against Jordan Love. We'll get to Jordan Love. But I'm telling you right now, I have multiple plays written here. Dobbs is wide open for no reason standing next to the goal line. I remember that play. He was just standing there. Someone had to run all the way across the field to get him. Quay Walker avoided like 5 tackles on his way to the end zone. Aaron Jones had a 50-yard run. That's not the Packers being, I mean, it's the Packers being good. Yeah, Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs of last week, or maybe even in the game. But the Bears just did nothing. And I think if they just solidify that defense, they're going to be better. And I think that that's what they're going to do. And I think that Justin Fields is going to run all over him next week. I think he's going to go for a 50-yard run.
Well, we'll see about that. But well, I don't know why you're sorry. Like, again, I just want to look. Let me just refer to what he was referring to real quick. In our when we were going over our divisions preseason,
Oh, yeah.
I picked the Packers to win the division. But I never said like I don't think Jordan Love is going to be this incredible football player. I just think he's going to do enough for them to get into the playoffs. Like you're absolutely right. Like Jordan Love was not the reason they won that game. But I don't think Jordan Love is going to be the reason that they lose a lot of games. Like
I wasn't saying.
No, I know. But you were saying before, like you were like, oh, like I'm sorry, I know you're gonna hate to hear this, but it's like no, like
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think I'm not. I don't think he's gonna throw over 300 yards every game. You know, like I just think he's gonna do enough to get them into the playoffs. But that was just a quick side note. But I mean, we'll see. I think. I mean, I guess it's gonna be a good game. I mean, these aren't two good teams in my opinion, but you know, I think it'll be a pretty decent game to watch. But yeah, I mean, we can move on.
Agreed. All right, I think we'll agree on this.
I hope so.
Finally, it just looks like we're making this all up. Chiefs and Jaguars. What say you?
Jaguars. Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
Okay. We did it. We did it.
I mean, look,
I'll tell you what though.
I'm excited though because I am interested to see how I think this is going to be from me who's someone who thinks the Jags are going to go pretty far this year. I think this is going to be a good test. I mean it's week 2, so even if they do play shitty, it's not the end of the world. But I think it'll wake a lot of people up if they play a really good game against the Chiefs. And also, I'll tell you what, I just think the Chiefs are going to win just because like they just are. They're going to be very.
Can't lose, yeah.
They're going to be out to prove like, hey, the Lions played our B team with Patrick Mahomes, but people are still celebrating it. But anyways, I think that
each team's minus 2 but okay.
I think that the Chiefs, their 3 best players. Anyways, now I'm losing my train of thought. But the Chiefs, I'll put it this way: I think if the Chiefs won last week, like I could see a world where the Jags come in and win. But I just think the Chiefs are going to be too fired up for this game.
I think, yeah, the defense for Jacksonville was not great last year. The only person I can compliment on defense, which is very ironic, is Josh Allen. The superior Josh Allen this week. But anyway, I think he had 3 sacks. But anyways, they gave up how many points to a rebuilding team in the Colts? Too many. Too many. So I definitely see the Chiefs winning this matchup. I'm not sure how well Jacksonville is going to do even on offense. I
think they'll be fine offense. I think Jacksonville is like I'll never worry about their offense personally.
Yeah, but the Colts defense was like always they didn't get, I don't think they got many sacks or even any at all, but they were always seemingly right there, like about to break through to Trevor Lawrence before he threw the ball. And now we're talking Chris Jones. He's back.
I just feel like that's an outlier. I got to see that happen again for me to like, you know what I mean?
I mean, anything in week 1 could be an outlier, so I suppose I can't argue that.
Yeah, but there's other things, but there's other things to support it, and that's that. Historically, even last year, Jacksonville was a very good offensive team. So I don't know. For me personally, I don't worry about their offense. Their defense, though, I do worry about. Absolutely.
I'm just hoping that they bottle up friggin' Ridley because I had Christian Kirk this week and he caught a pass.
Yeah.
He did it.
If somebody can actually win against the actual Chiefs team. But all right, we can move on to the next game.
All right, Packers Falcons. I did have the Falcons.
2-0.
I did have the Falcons,
Really?
but I swatch it to the Packers because
I was actually thinking about the Falcons myself, all jokes aside.
let me explain why. Desmond Ritter was 15 for 18. That's really good if you didn't watch the game. If you watch the game, you'll understand that half of those are laterals to his running backs. Guess what? The Packers defense isn't stupid. They're not stupid. They have to do some, or the Falcons are going to have to do more than run the ball. They have great running backs. They have the best 3 running backs in the league. Like, they have the best running back core, I should say, in the league.
Mhm.
But he didn't really throw it downfield. Drake London got 1 target in 0 catches. I saw 1 play with what's his name? The big who's the tight end for them again? He always gets hurt. Okay, well, that guy. Jesus, I gotta look it up now. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say
But
that
I'm gonna yell in the middle of your thing.
so
Pitts, Kyle Pitts. Continue.
the Falcons. I hear what you're saying, but again, it's like, and I hate to say this because it's like it's week 1, but it's like I was actually kind of impressed with the Falcons, all things considered. All things
Dude, their running backs are good.
No, well, but that's something we knew coming into it though. Like I would just overall like because you remember, I think I don't want to quote myself here, but I think I had the Falcons beating the Panthers last week.
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, I think that I just did. I think I picked them to win the division.
Who?
I think I picked the Falcons to win the division.
Who else is in there? Falcons, Panthers.
It's like
Bucks,
a really bad one. The Bucks,
Saints?
I think. Yeah,
And Saints.
You picked the Saints. I remember you picked the
Saints.
Saints. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's for another time. So I thought what the Falcons did actually kind of impressed me a little bit. Obviously they're gonna have to if they want to win more, they're gonna have to prove they can do more. Obviously, of course, but I kind of agree with you in the same sense. Like the Packers aren't stupid. I trust the Packers defense. And I trust Jordan Love to not screw up enough for them to lose the game. So that's a recipe for when you're playing a team like the Falcons. That's kind of a win right there, in my opinion.
It's honestly 2 very similar teams. Last week, the best player for both squads was the running back. Aaron Jones was huge for the Packers. I put the win on Aaron Jones more than I put it on Jordan Love. But I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. I was not impressed with Jordan Love's gameplay, but I was very impressed with his mindset. Like I forget all the plays, but I just remember when I was like watching him, when I was watching the highlights, I was like, he's doing smart moves. He definitely learned this shit from Rodgers. You can see it in his brain.
That's why, and again, I'm quoting an episode that nobody heard, but we when I said that he's following in the footsteps of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, that sounds crazy. But what I mean from that is this organization isn't stupid. They have a blueprint that works. It works.
Yeah.
So
he's just got to make sure that he can do it physically.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, like what I think he's gonna do, he doesn't even what I think their ceiling is. I don't think he even has to physically be like that. But his mindset, I think you could easily pick up over the years. I mean, what he's been there for what, about 3 years now, maybe 2-3 years, probably at this point, probably more.
3 or 4.
Yeah, maybe four. But yeah, I think he's taken a great deal out of just being in the background and watching Rodgers and watching the team. So my thing is like, I just think he's smart enough to know like he knows his role right now, which is like very important as a quarterback. Again, I equated a lot to
so important.
I equated a lot to him, similar to what Daniel Jones was last year, where he just kind of they didn't have him doing too much. They had him doing just enough to not mess up and go overboard. And that helped them and put them in a really good spot. Had a good run game too, kind of similar thing going on with the Packers. So I don't know. I like the Packers starting off 2-0. So
I would say it's a good matchup, but then I just keep thinking about how often they ran the ball and how easy that is to just if that's
Again,
if you
again,
know that's what you're going to be facing, right?
we're going off one game, and I know that's all we're going off of, but they're not all these teams are going to have the same style of playing game plans going into week 2. It's going to change week in and week out. So I wouldn't expect to see that this weekend.
Okay. We'll try to get one more before the meeting time expires. I
Yeah,
think
because
we can.
because I
We'll,
don't for this next game, I don't have much to say on it. But
do you know what the next game is?
yeah, Bills, right?
Yeah. You don't have much. Well, let's see if we agree or if you sound goofy. What do you think?
I think the
Who do
Bills.
you think?
The Bills are going to win.
Okay.
I think this is a game where the Bills kind of win soundly. Like I like teetering blowout. I'm not gonna say like a blowout, but I think at least 10 to 14 points they win by.
I think, yeah, I think last week's Bills game was an outlier. I think anything you say about Josh Allen, not he played worse than you could imagine last week. I think that they're gonna come back. They're gonna do it in typical Bills fashion. The Raiders defense sucks. Um, Jimmy Garoppolo looked very comfortable in his first game in a Raiders uniform. However, if you watch the game, he's just throwing to the same 2 guys every single play and making it work because the Broncos defense sucks. Other than like Surtain, who just didn't even play that well. He got a couple penalties on him, gave up some scores, but anyways, yeah, I think the Bills are gonna end up winning that matchup for sure.
I'm glad you noticed that too, though, real quick. Jimmy G, because you're right. I was the one thing that I did like to see though with Jimmy G was like you said he looked comfortable out there.
Yeah,
And again, that was
he looked
something
like he's been there for a while.
What's up?
He looked like he'd been there for a while.
Exactly, which I didn't know if that was going to happen. Him going into a new system and everything. And again, I mean, he was playing, the Broncos, but
Yeah.
even with that, like, I don't know. There was a couple things that I saw Jimmy G do, and I was like, okay, I was like, oh wow, like you know what, like maybe like although like I don't think he would have all those like accolades he has or have gone as far as he's went if he wasn't on the 49ers, it did make me think like, all right, you know what, like Jimmy G is gonna be okay. He's not gonna be horrible. He's not gonna be like incredible. He's gonna be middle of the pack. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he can hold his own even without the pack or without the 49ers offense, which is great for him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Chargers Titans, not much to say.
Yeah, I got the Chargers.
Oh wait, I will say something. Actually, you can't see on the phone, but date it back to 2019. I've been saying Tannehill sucks ass.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Guess what? My man sucked. What is it? 28 passer rating? Derrick Henry carries that team. And when I say carries, I do mean like he also carries the opposing team because he carries them across the fucking goal line half the time. I will say.
I'll tell you what, Joe. I don't think it's gonna be.
They played the Saints, right? Austin Eckler is not going to be able to do what he did against the Dolphins, against the Titans. They actually had a pretty good running defense last week against Jameson Williams, but Justin Herbert is just going to light up the field. Watch Keenan Allen. He's going to put up some fantasy points.
But I don't think the Chargers are going to like safely win. Like their defense to me, like, I don't know. I feel like the Titans can easily get a couple touchdowns.
Okay, but who's the best player on the Titans?
Derrick Henry.
They are better against the run than I'm not going to say they're elite against the run. We got one sample size, but they shut down Miami's run really easily. They mostly scored in the air, and in the air is Ryan Tannehill.
No, I hear you, but I still, again, I don't think Tannehill is as incoherent as you think he is. And I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Chargers, but I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything. Like the Chargers defense didn't do anything that like makes me think that they're going to freaking just be blowing teams out of the water.
Hey, it's me, Ryan Tannehill. Have you seen my hat? I can't find it.
I honestly don't understand, but
someone out there will. Anyways, We
But
both
yeah,
think the Chargers are
I
gonna
don't
win.
think I don't think the Chargers defense was like that insane. Like,
I
so
mean, no, they friggin' gave up 34 points.
that's what I'm
But I
saying.
mean, or 36. I think they were better than people make them out to be. If you watch the highlights, a lot of the catches that Tyreek, especially I forget his first name, but Barrios, the tight end there, a lot of the catches they were making were insane.
No,
Like
that's fair, but
no one should have caught that shit. They
I'm
had
just
pressure on them. There
I
was
know,
nothing else the
I
Chargers
know.
could have done in a lot of situations.
I know. My point is though, I just don't like again, I know you don't like Tannehill and I agree with you that the Chargers are gonna win. I'm just nitpicking at things to argue here. But
Mm.
I still think it's gonna be close. That's all. I think it'll be a good game. So
Anyways, moving on. I think we should agree 5 times in a row.
we don't have let's
Taking the
not
40.
49ers.
The Rams impressed though. They might not have to tank. They impressed.
They should tank if they're smart. So what should they go and try to sneak into the wild card and get beat by 40 in the first round? Is that what they should try to do? No, you
I'm
should
just
better off tank.
saying the Rams aren't as bad as we or anybody else thought, but they don't stand a chance against the 49ers. I did look, I understand. I just want to give the Rams some credit. I just want to, because people are just missing the Rams for the whole year, as we were. I'm not going to do that anymore.
What?
It's just the
Wait.
Rams.
What do you mean by that though?
They're not going to be a bottom 5 team.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like a playoff.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. Like,
But the way
they got the
said
Seahawks,
that,
the 49ers in their division.
but
You know
that's
who else they
saying
got in their division, though?
the way that you were like, oh, I don't I'm not dismissing them. I was like, whoa, but okay, all right, that makes sense. Let's not even waste any more time. Let's just.
I am so curious. We were gonna make an inside joke last week that I don't think we can make right now.
And I'm fine with doing it again. I think we can go over this game. I think the Giants beat the Cardinals. Sure, it may be close, but I don't think the Giants are going to lose to the Cardinals.
Cardinals played a much better game last week. I think the Cardinals are gonna win too, but I think that's because they're trying to tank. I think that if they wanted to, they could take
Wait.
out the Giants.
Wait, you just said you think the Cardinals are going to win.
No, I said they're gonna win. I did. I think the Giants are. I think the Cardinals are gonna lose because that's what they're gonna try to do. I think if they tried to win, they would.
You're a big hypothetical guy lately. You know,
I'm thinking. I'm using the noggin.
but let's go off of what
they-
actually. But let's go off of what actually is going to happen.
The Cardinals are gonna win. Damn it!
You might as
The
well.
Giants-
You just picked them like 6 times. So let's just move on.
Giants are gonna win.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Next game.
Giants are gonna win, but it's gonna be ugly, and Saquon's gonna friggin' tear his Achilles.
All right. He was joking. Obviously, we don't hope for that. But
Yeah, FBI, that's a joke. If it when it does happen, do not bust down my door.
Okay. Who do we got? This one. I mean,
Cowboys, Jets.
The Cowboys are gonna blow out the second another New York team 2 weeks in a row. I don't think
Dude.
Close.
I mean, yeah, there's not much to say about this.
This is gonna be the worst. This is what I will say. I think this is gonna be the worst beatdown the Jets have gotten since the classic Sam Darnold I'm seeing ghost game.
Did you see my smile? I knew you were gonna go there. I could see
ghost
it.
out there.
Look, I could see it both ways, though. I mean, there are a lot of players on that roster with potential. The only issue is the most important one is now gone.
Well, no, it's not. But it's not even that though. Like it is that. But if the Jets were playing anybody else, really, like I think it would be a lot closer. I just think the Cowboys are that good.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
That's
mean,
what it comes down to.
Yeah. What was I going to say? All right, let's take a 30-second detour. If you had to guess who's going to be their starting quarterback week 6.
I think they're staying with Zach Wilson because I don't think they want to. I think that Aaron Rodgers plans on coming back next year, and I don't think they want to upset him by signing somebody else.
I think they're gonna throw in damn, what's his name? Hold on. I know what team he's on. Hold on, be able to get it really quick. They're gonna grab Taylor Heineke.
I
Taylor
would,
Heineke is not a franchise quarterback. Rodgers would not be offended if he came in for a season and backed up for him,
yeah, but I
in
think
my opinion. I think Zach Wilson would be offended, but who the fuck cares?
well, no, I mean, yeah,
Screw that
nobody
guy.
cares about that. But personally,
Trash.
I think because you also got to remember too, Aaron Rodgers really kind of wanted to take Zach Wilson under his arm.
I guess, yeah,
So
that's true as
so
well. But
I just don't. I would be unless like Aaron Rodgers turns around quickly and says, "Hey, I'm done," which I can't see. Knowing Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's gonna go out like that.
yeah,
Even though
agreed.
you could argue maybe he should, but I don't know. But I think they're gonna. I think unfortunately they're gonna stick with Zach Wilson for the rest of the year.
What was I gonna say? Last bit on that. If they're gonna stick with Zach Wilson, I honestly think they should tank. He looked so bad, dude.
I think you
He
got to
looked
see. I think you got to see what happens. Like, give it another 3 weeks and see what happens.
definitely not this week. If you base your decision off this week, you might as well throw him to the fucking Wolves.
Well, yeah, but okay, you lose this week and now you're 1-1, and then you move. I mean, I'm just saying, like
I know. Okay. Anyways, Broncos Commanders. I am a strong Broncos rider on this one.
me too. I
I'm
think the Broncos beat the Commanders.
really okay. That's interesting. I thought you were gonna
I
go
told you.
Commanders.
I think the Broncos, and again, I'm gonna quote another episode that nobody ever watched, but I think the Broncos and Russell Wilson are gonna have a much better season than last year, which isn't saying a lot. It's not saying anything at all. I'm not like it's not saying anything, but I don't know. I think this is a game that they win.
They were decent last week. They were, of
Yeah.
course, against the Raiders defense, which is awful. But
And
what was the
the Commanders almost lost to a team who's trying to lose. So
I think Sam Howell looked horrible. McLaurin and Dotson put up pretty weak numbers.
And they're changing the name again.
Oh yeah, what are they changing it to now?
They don't have a name, but they're changing it again.
I thought the Washington
Just keep it as the football team.
badass. Anyways, the last thing I was gonna say on that, who were we talking about? Oh, the Broncos. I saw one of the Broncos touchdown drives, I'm pretty sure. Russell Wilson, 7 passes, 7 different receivers. They're experimenting right now. And once they get down a method, I think they're gonna actually be decent. Like I said, it was against the Raiders, but it was an experimental week. They knew what they were doing. They were playing experimentally. If Russ learned anything from that and great football mind, hopefully he did. He found what he needed to do. He just needs to dial back his game and stop going for the big play. He needs to pick up like 6-7 yards when he can. He's throwing it downfield way too much.
Well, a lot of that comes with coaching too, and they got a new coaching staff in, so that you also have to take that into consideration. Like again, they're not gonna be a team that makes the playoffs. They're just not. They got the Chargers and the Chiefs. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe if the Chargers slip up and lose some more games, but I don't see that either. But which kind of does suck in a way because like I do see a world where like if the Broncos are in like that Saints division where they get into the playoffs and it's kind of just like and although I'm not like I joke around about the Russell Wilson thing, I don't really hate the guy, but like it would be a cool story, but
yeah. Yeah, I like those divisions that like obviously the Chiefs are gonna win their division. I like the ones where like it's all 4 teams fighting because they all equally are great or all equally suck. Even if they all equally suck, you never know. It could be interesting. But
that was like real quick. That was like the one I think I don't know if it was last year, like 2 years ago or something, but this usually always happens. Like the NFC East, it's always like 3 teams that are like the Cowboys and Eagles are now like leaps and leaps about the Giants, the Commanders, but it usually like every year it's usually like a 3-way tie with like the Giants, Eagle, or the Cowboys, Eagles, and either the Giants or Commanders.
You remember it was the year that Brady first went to the Bucks and won the Super Bowl that all of those teams were horrible and the Commanders made it in like
Yep,
6 and like 11 or
yep, yep, yep.
Oh my
But
God.
things like that are cool to me sometimes,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
time, but But all right, let's move on.
Anyways, Broncos, Pats and Dolphins.
Patriots win.
I hope you're right and I hope I'm wrong.
Let me explain.
I took the Pats last week, didn't work out well.
I mean, it didn't work
Almost
out
did.
bad. Let me
Yeah,
just say
that's why I
this.
say almost worked out well, but
Let me say this, right? Last week was a win for the Patriots.
oh yeah. I think last week was a win for the Patriots more than it was for the Eagles.
Absolutely. But let me also say this. The biggest winner last week was Mac Jones. Mac Jones is proving that after after his rookie year, he had a good rookie year. Then he kind of went down, right? But obviously, a lot more things were at play. Your offensive coordinator was a defensive coach. There was a lot of things that were at play there. But a lot of people still thought that Mac Jones was just going to keep declining. Mac Jones came out there and looked really good. Now, you and I both know the Dolphins ain't going to do to the New England Patriots what they did last week to the Chargers on the offense side. They did just, and that's just not gonna happen, right?
Sort of.
And on top of that, the Dolphins. I mean, what? Let me ask you this before you tell me who you think's gonna win. What did you think of the Dolphins' defense last week? So look, I'm not saying the Patriots are going to come out and blow them out, but I actually think the Patriots are in a really, really good spot here. Now, what does scare me is them, because I feel like this happened last year too, where the Patriots, they have a lot of games where like they're not supposed to win, and then they're so close to winning, and then like last week something happens at the end, like so.
Not just last year, dude. But Brady versus the Patriots. We were this close.
No, that's what I said. The last 2
game.
years. That's what I said. The last 2 years.
Oh,
since
two.
Mac's
Sorry,
been there.
sorry.
Yeah. Since the whole Brady era ended, like they've had a lot of games that they weren't supposed to be in, that they were, but it just at the end, the talent just took over. I think that I think Belichick knows it's like, okay, like although we lost last week, we still have a lot of momentum. Mac is I would think Mac Jones is feeling more confident than ever. That's just me personally. I would think that. The defense, again, like I don't like
Probably,
it's going to be an issue. And don't get me wrong, like, it's not going to be easy. I mean, the Dolphins look. I know a lot of people picked the Dolphins to win the division. A lot of people were high on the Dolphins this year, but I don't think people expected like Tua to look like that last week.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I was happy about it because he's been through a lot with the injuries and everything. But with that being said, man, I just don't think you're doing that to New England. I think the Patriots win, and I think it's going to be a good game.
A quick addressing. I definitely think the Dolphins are going to win the division now, just because of how the Bills looked. It's not going to be obviously that was an off week, but the fact that they could do that, the Aaron Rodgers situation, all that. And anyways, though, I know you don't know too much about the Patriots, not nearly as much as I do, but I do not like the Tyreek Hill Christian Gonzalez matchup. That is what scares me the most. Did you watch?
You don't. All right. I think you're a lot more you know a lot more about the game than you give yourself credit for. You probably think Bill Belichick might know just a little bit more than you on the defensive side, right? You think just a little bit more, right? So if you're thinking about that, you don't think Belichick has a plan for that? Just curious.
You think Belichick got a plan for the Eagles?
Yes.
You lost. I
That's
don't.
that goes against what you just said, man. Because the Eagles were just in the Super Bowl last year, bro.
Let me explain something to you.
And it came down to them being out of bounds at the end of the game. The Patriots.
I'm sure Belichick has a plan. that doesn't mean it's gonna work.
Of course not. Of course not.
I'm just saying my opinion here, man. I'm saying
I'm arguing. That's
that
what we're doing.
a
It's
Christian Gonzalez matchup on Tyreek Hill is not going to be good. He had a couple great plays that were outstanding last week against the Eagles. I mean, I didn't even know who he was going into the game. I didn't even know. He's a new rookie on our team. I think he's a safety or a cornerback or some shit like that. I didn't even know who the hell he was. And obviously he played enough for me to know his name now and get a little information about him. He had some major slip ups, but some great plays. Reminds me a little of Trevon Diggs. He was like the leader in like interceptions one year, but like he would always go out of his way to try to get an interception, would sometimes give up a giant play. And anyways, I could definitely see Gonzalez messing up a couple times, unfortunately. He's a rookie, giving him the benefit. I was talking to people today who were pissed at I forget I don't know how to pronounce this kid's last name, the guy with the toe drag. They were mad as hell. And I was like, the dude's rookie. And they're like, if you're oh, I'm like, first game. I do give the benefit of the doubt to the rookies. I'm not saying I'm gonna get mad at Gonzalez or I think he's a bad player. I just think that Tyreek Hill is a really tough matchup for a new guy. And I don't think he's gonna match up well against it. I think that the Patriots defense will put up a much better challenge than the Chargers defense. I think we're gonna hold the Dolphins to probably sub 25, hopefully. I think the Patriots can do some scoring on that defense. I think that Zeke is gonna do well because Austin Eckler obviously ran tremendously. Zeke and Stevenson, I should say. I just think Zeke's a little underrated going into this year. The more I talk, yeah, I guess I can see your point, but I just think after last like they were saying about the Chiefs, it's hard to bet against the Chiefs. It's hard to bet against what? Like what did they say? Like the 70 or the 73 and 9 Warriors. Hard to bet against them. It's hard to bet against the Dolphins after they pulled what they pulled last week on
You should
offense.
have
It
bet.
really is.
You should
I
have bet
could,
against the 73-9 Warriors, but continue.
yeah, but it's hard. You should have bet against the Chiefs last week. It's hard to do. You you feel like you should, or like you feel like you could, but you feel like you shouldn't. So
I hear what you're
talking it,
saying.
saying it out loud, I can see your angle. I can see where you're coming from. Could the Patriots win this game? Yeah, I'm a little weary because I took them last week to pull the upset, and this week is obviously another upset. But am I going to take them? I cannot bet against the Dolphins after last week. No way.
That's,
Also, I have Tyreek in fantasy.
that's fair, but like Tyreek, like I think Belichick. I mean, Belichick knows what he has to do against Tyreek. I firmly believe that. Like I think he's just gonna throw bodies at Tyreek Hill all game. Like I think he's just gonna try to wear him down the entire game. Now, is that gonna work, Joe? Maybe it doesn't, right? Like you said, everybody you always have a plan, right? I think the plan worked pretty damn well last week with the Eagles, but obviously they still lost. So you also have to remember too, the Patriots got off to such a bad start in the first quarter of that game. I feel like people forget that. What was it? Was it 17-0 or 14-0?
It was either 17 or 16. I forget.
16. I think it was 16. But and then they did all that to come back. Like, man, I think the Patriots are a lot tougher than people think, man. Like I really do. And I just I don't know. I think I see them winning. I don't
You
know.
disabled screen sharing.
How did I do that?
I don't know. I was gonna do something funny, but it's okay. We can move past it. I was just gonna make a joke that when Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill blow by Christian Gonzalez for a touchdown.
But why are you so convinced that Tyreek Hill is like always gonna be guarded by him? Like that's not like
I'm I just can see it. I'm not saying always. I can just see Tua Tagovailoa sees Tyreek Hill being covered by a rookie who's trying to prove himself, a rookie who made a couple mistakes last week, and he's gonna take advantage of that.
I just think that's so crazy that you think like yeah,
I don't think
that's
it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's
That's
gonna be a
probably
one-score
gonna
game. I
happen.
hope it's gonna be a one-score game.
I mean, like, yeah, that's probably gonna happen one or two times, but like, I don't think
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be a
happen.
biggie though. It's gonna be a biggie. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a touchdown.
Maybe it will be, but that's one touchdown. Maybe it will be, but I don't know. You're making it seem like
I'm talking like a
exact-
30-yard run at the least.
a touchdown's a touchdown. So I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, that might happen, but I don't think that's gonna, you know, like, okay, that's a touchdown.
He's gonna
I think the Patriots are gonna score too. Like,
I forget who it was for the Saints, but the Minneapolis Miracle when Diggs caught it on the sideline and the Saints guy just like does like a barrel roll instead of actually trying to tackle Diggs. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah. You,
That's what's gonna happen.
I just feel like you're kind of because it's your team. You're trying to kind of like do this little like reverse psychology method here.
Against the Eagles last week.
Exactly, I know. And now you said yourself you're weary you picked them this week because of that. To me, that proved to me that they actually can win these games this
That's fair. I said they can win. I'll be surprised.
year. Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll be surprised because it's my team. I can see a future where they win, but I'll still be surprised because I don't expect them to pull it off.
Okay.
Anyways, that was a long conversation. I did not even realize. Did you know we're getting 2 games on Monday?
I told you they used to do that all the time. That used to be regular.
We'll start with the Saints and the Panthers. What do you think?
I got the Panthers.
Why?
I actually the Saints didn't do anything that impressed me last week. And I know the Panthers. I know.
Panthers.
But I don't know, man. I just think the Saints are so every year overrated. And I know no one's saying that they're gonna like win it all, but like everyone's always like, oh well, the Saints are gonna be like they're always gonna be a good team. It's like, no, they're not always gonna be a good
Since Drew Brees left.
What?
Not since Brees left.
What was the record last year?
Below 500 because of the Bucks. We're also below 500 and above them. I didn't think they were going to do good. I don't know what you're talking. Ever. I have doubted the Saints
like
ever since Brees left.
It's just like a thing where people are like,
Is this still your talking time?
it's always your talking time, buddy. Go.
Yeah, I know it is. They just who got the most balls last week? Hayden Hurst. I couldn't even tell you for the Panthers. They didn't do good. And wait, who are they playing again? Can you remind me with Atlanta, right?
The Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, the Saints defense is way, way better than Atlanta's defense. They had what, 3? I know it was Ryan Tannehill overrated, but they had 3 picks last week. They had constant QB pressure. The defense alone is really good, and that's really bad for a rookie quarterback who has yet to win a game. And then onto the Saints offensive side of things, they didn't look that good on the offense. I thought that how about this? If I didn't think Jimmy Garoppolo looked so comfortable, I would tell you that Derek Carr looked really comfortable. I think he looked decent. I think he looked comfortable, but Jimmy G looked way more comfortable, so it just kind of rules that out in my brain. I think Derek Carr looked good. I think his receivers didn't really do much with the ball once they got it. I thought Chris Olave for himself put an underwhelming performance. I think Mike Thomas not coming out injured was a fantastic addition. What's Shasid? I can't pronounce this guy's name. Like Sashid, I think. He's a new guy, and Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams had an underwhelming game, but that's just because the Titans defended the run really well. But I think they'll be able to run all over Carolina because that's exactly what the Falcons did. No Kamara, no problem. Like I said, they got Jameson and they got Stashid who can catch the ball, run the ball. I don't see a future where the Panthers win this game. I don't. I don't think it's gonna be close.
Again, like I said, I don't have much analytics or stats to throw out like you do. I just don't. I'm just purely going off of just what I feel. Like I don't think. Obviously, the Panthers didn't prove a lot to me last week, but just watching it, the Saints didn't prove much either for me to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going with the Panthers, but we can move on to the last game because I think we might. I don't know. We might have an argument about this one. So let's.
Oh, according to that, we definitely are. I'll say this for a closing remark, though. I will say that I have a lot more faith in the Saints' defense than I do their offense.
Okay. All right.
You think the Steelers are going to win?
What? Oh, you're going to the last. Okay, so all right. So the last Monday night game, Steelers versus Browns.
Yep.
Yeah, I 100% think the Steelers are going to win.
100%. This one isn't going to be close.
Wait a second. So you think the Browns? See, this is week one bias. This is week one bias.
You're getting blown out of the water.
What do you mean we're?
I will never bet on Kenny Pickett again, dude. That guy sucks.
Oh my God. So let me get this straight. You think that the Browns are going to start off 2-0 with 2 blowouts?
Yeah. If their second opponent is the Steelers, dude, it's the same matchup defensively that they had last week.
No.
Okay, maybe not the same, but like, it's still a top 3 defense in the league. Still a top 3 defense in the league.
I don't think.
You know, I've been saying that about the Browns, though. You guys didn't see week 1. I was saying the Browns defense is elite. They proved that. Dude, it's Kenny Pickett going against another top tier defense. I do not think they're going to do as well as the 49ers did against them. But I do not think. And they lost a freaking wide receiver. They lost Deontay Johnson. They have even less options for Pickett to throw to.
That might be better.
I don't see it. Even friggin' Pittsburgh's defense, which was supposed to be miraculous this year. Last week was supposed to be the defensive matchup of maybe even the year. And
things happen. It's one game. That's what I'm saying. It's one game. And I know that's what we have to base it off of, but we still can't lose sight of what these teams are probably going to end up becoming. Like,
what has Kenny Pickett proven to you? What has he proven to you?
First of all, I was talking about the defense right now. That's what I was talking about. I still think that the Steelers defense is going to be elite. I agree. Okay, all right. So then why did you even bring that up about last week then? About their defense?
I mean, hey, it could be a mulligan, but like I said I forget who it was. I forget what team I was talking about. It can happen. The weakness has been exploited. They got film on it now. They got film on what the 49ers did, and I'll tell you what, the Browns are going to run exactly that, because not only did it worked damn near flawlessly.
But I don't think that's something you can replicate.
That's why I did say to you, I don't think it's going to be. I think the Steelers are going to do better. It's hard to do worse than that.
You set a blowout still though. Look, I'll put it this way, right? I'm not as low on Kenny Pickett as everybody else is.
What has he done? What has he done for you?
He hasn't done anything for me.
Not for you. What has he done that you've seen and said,
No, but this is the same argument I have with you over and over again about 95% of the quarterbacks. He doesn't need to be Peyton Manning.
Who does he have to catch the ball? George Pickens, he's in the same damn boat. He hasn't done anything.
People just have to get open. I don't think this Browns defense is as elite as you make it out to be. I really don't.
Who has to get open? Freaking the Walmart employees they hired?
Yeah, because that's who makes the NFL, Joe, right? That's who makes the NFL. I don't
even think is Freiermuth even playing. I don't even know if Freiermuth is playing.
That's who makes the NFL. Look, I understand clearly. I know you've been high on the Browns, and you were right about week 1. I just think that you have a little bias about them, which by the way, I mean, of course, I mean, hey, that's what we're going off of, right? We're going off of the first weeks, but I think we're losing sight a little bit of who both of these teams are really going to be as the season goes on. And it's like
You're telling
what?
You're telling me that me picking the Browns over the Steelers is biased when the
No, no,
Browns
no, no, no,
scored
no, 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 no.
27 points to the
No, 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 no. You saying it's going to be a blowout is, in my opinion, a bias from week one, which is like perfectly fine. You're taking for, I mean, we're going off of what we have seen so far. So I understand that. I do, but I just happen to think that both of those situations were outliers.
I think I think Kenny Pickett is staring into the eye of a storm. Wait, the eye is safe. Into the depths of a storm that he was staring at exactly a week ago today.
I disagree.
He is looking at another top tier defense, and we've already seen that he can't even nearly compete with it.
There's levels. The Browns defense and the 49ers defense, it's there's levels. There is levels. You can listen, you can argue the Browns are a top 5 defense in the league, and I would still say there's still levels between that Browns defense and 49ers defense.
Always. I 100% agree with that.
So then it's
I'm
not the
telling
same
you, though,
thing. He's not in the same situation then.
he's in the same situation because he can't even put up with the Browns defense. He's putting up with a top 5 defense in the NFL. He can't do it. I don't think he can
We're
do
gonna
it.
see. We're gonna see. I think again.
Look,
I don't think he has to do
like,
anything crazy. I'm not saying he's gonna have this fantastic game, but I think he's gonna do a lot better than last week, which again isn't much. But I think he's gonna have a decent enough game to get them to win. I think the Browns are gonna be happy-go-lucky that they just beat the Bengals by however many much last week. That was their freaking Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl. They're gonna go in lackadaisical, and I think the Steelers are gonna take advantage of that because they still have a great coaching staff. They still have a great organization. I think they're gonna take advantage of that.
okay, so I'm talking paper. Obviously, things happen. I'm talking paper. This is what I'm trying to say about the 49ers and the Browns defense. Kenny Pickett scored 7 points against the 49ers defense. If we're given the same game, the same Kenny Pickett, the same situations, I'm saying he scores like 14 on the Browns.
Yes.
Which still is
okay. If everything goes,
you know what I'm saying?
same,
maybe even 10. It's that good of a defense. And I'm just saying, dude, you say this a lot. And I agree with you most of the time, where all the quarterback has to do is exist. That's what you've been saying about Jimmy G for the past couple of years because of his weapons in San Francisco. That's what you said about him this week about the Raiders. That's what you said. Did I say last week, last year, the last couple of years? That's what you can say about a bunch of teams. Kenny Pickett does not have the weapons that these people have.
No. I'm not saying he just has to exist. He has to just not screw up. Like he has to not.
No, I don't think you pull it.
Okay, and like you said, right? You literally just looked me in the eyes right now and said, "Oh, I think that if everything goes like it did last week, they might score another touchdown, but that's it." Yeah, if Kenny Pickett plays as bad as he did last week, yes, they're gonna lose.
That's what I said on paper. That was just more me trying to explain the tiers of the defenses. How
no,
I do think that the 49ers are better.
That's fine, but I just don't think that's what's gonna happen this week. Like I think Kenny Pickett. I think the Steelers are going to be more prepared, well prepared. I don't think the Browns. I think people like that Browns team that you saw last week. I don't think we see for the rest of the year. I don't. I really, really don't.
Except for the next Bengals game because they always beat the Bengals.
Well, that. But I don't. I don't see a world of that.
I just think, dude, a Browns team that kept 8 targets away from T. Higgins, that kept Joe Burrow from scoring more than 3. What it was 3, right? They got a field goal.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, who barely played football since January. But yes, you're right. You're right. But still, yes.
There's excuses for him, and they're valid excuses. But it's still Joe Burrow versus Kenny Pickett. I would take Joe Burrow not playing for a year over Kenny Pickett practicing day in, day out. Yeah, I'm not a Kenny Pickett guru. I do not know what people see in this man.
Really, you don't say. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you think the freaking Bears are not the Bears, you think the freaking Browns are like the whatever 72 Bears was it? Whatever that was the freaking greatest defensive team of all time. So we'll see.
No, you're thinking Legion of Boom Seahawks, but
we'll see if they hold up.
I suppose we will, but that looks like our time. Yeah, we'll be back next week to do this. for the future, we're gonna do pretty much any variety of things. We have a lot of different interests. We'll
We'll
try to
make a
cover a
video of that
variety of
because
topics.
we'll make a video of that because I want to stop this before it goes crazy. So, all right, we will see you guys next time.